All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another day of joy, of celebration, and of gladness. We are happy to have you join us live today on Facebook and on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in today. Well, my name is Anu Ojo, and we're coming to you live from Kiev, Ukraine. It's been all about the life transforming testimonies from people who are mentees, disciples, you could call them followers of DSA, coming live to share with us their journey, their experience, the impact and the influence of Dr. Sunday in their lives personally, and how they've been able to, translate the impact they've received, to their families, to their societies, and to their nations at large. And it has been a wonderful journey right from the 1st of May, and we are gradually getting to the end of this life-transforming testimony series. So if you're joining us today, thank you. I would like to encourage you to please go ahead and share this video. If you're watching on Facebook, you could share this video on your timeline. You could suggest it to your friends, or you could, invite someone who you think might find this useful or beneficial in any way, form, or shape. And if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you for joining us. You could also share this YouTube link on your social media platforms, and you could join in the conversation by leaving your comments, or if you have not subscribed to Dr. Sunday's YouTube channel too, I think it would be a great decision for you to subscribe and to click on the notification bell for you to get notified anytime Dr. Sunday uploads a new video on his YouTube channel. Yesterday was an amazing testimony. If you missed it, I'd like to encourage you to please go to Dr. Sunday's channel. That is Dr. Sunday Adelaja on YouTube. Search for the playlist Life Transforming Testimonies, and you would find not just yesterday's testimony, but you'll find all of the testimonies that we've had right from the first day of May. And I'm particularly, grateful to Dr. Sunday for deciding to celebrate his birthday in this manner. He decided to, rather than celebrating himself, he wants to celebrate people. He wants to give the platform for people to come, to share their life experiences, to share their journey, and to share their success, their achievements and what they've been able to, make thanks to the hard work they've done on themselves, thanks to their diligence, thanks to their perseverance, and thanks to the character they've developed in themselves to produce the result that they have today. And today we are having a guest joining us all the way from Ghana. His name is Mr. Ebenezer ACHEAMPONG. And as you can see, the title for today, it is "One Moment with DSA is like years of university lectures." Well, good evening to you, Mr. Ebenezer.
Good evening, Dr. Anu.
Well, we are happy to have you join us today all the way from our motherland, Africa.
Oh, thanks for having me. Pleasure is mine.
Awesome. How is Ghana today?
Oh, for Ghana, we are in the rainy season at the moment, and the weather is very good. It rained yesterday, but as we speak now, it's as if it's going to rain. But it's good. Generally, everything is good.
Awesome. And how are you doing yourself?
Oh, by grace. It has been a hectic week, but I'm okay now. Awesome. I was part of several meetings during the week, but I'm okay.
Well, you definitely do look you do look even more than okay. You do look more than okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
How about you?
We are doing great here.
Your team?
It's still very cold here in Ukraine.
Really?
Yeah, we are hoping that the sun comes out because here in this part of the world, we really cherish the sun. And anytime the sun comes out, we're excited because it takes us back to Africa.
Interesting. We are having it 24/7 within the year.
Yeah, you know, there's a saying that you don't really value what you have until you don't have
What
it.
you have, you're right. You don't until you lose
Yeah,
it.
until you lose it. And so here it gets really cold during the winter, really,
Hmm.
really cold. So we like anticipate summer and summer is
Hmm.
just maybe 3 months thereabout. But those 3 months
Hmm.
it really means a lot to us. So
All
right,
right, all right, all right.
so
That's
right,
interesting.
yeah. So right now, that's what we're praying for and we're waiting for.
And you're
For
hoping for how
yeah,
we
yeah.
have it in abundance, and we are even worried about having too much sunshine.
That's the irony of
It's,
life. That's the
yeah,
irony
yeah,
of
yeah.
life. Wow,
Mm,
awesome. So I'm
yeah,
guessing that some of our viewers might be seeing you for the very first time. Although we tried to have your program some weeks ago, but we had some
yeah,
technical
yeah.
issues. So
Issues, yeah.
we're happy we're able to have it today and to to hear your testimony and to hear from you, your journey, your experience, and some of the results that you've been able to achieve, and even maybe some other plans that you have for the future. But let's start right
Mm,
from from the very beginning. Would you love to
yeah.
introduce yourself to us? Can we meet you, know you?
All right, thank you very much, those who are listening to us and are viewing us. My name is Ebenezer ACHEAMPONG. Uh, I'm the third born among my siblings. We are six. I'm from Ghana, and precisely from the region called Ashanti region, Kumasi. That's where I'm from. But at the moment, I stay in Accra, the capital. I'm married with 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls. Uh, I, in fact, I did my master's in Germany, and interestingly, I came there in December, and that time the weather was too cold that for that reason I don't want to travel. Ever since I came to Ghana, I don't want to travel during winter. No, no, the experience was very terrible for me.
I
It was
can
very
understand you
terrible.
very well.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And at the moment, I work with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. I'm the acting head of procurement for the ministry. And also, I'm an elder of my church, the Church of Pentecost, one of the largest church in Ghana. And yeah, basically that's why. And I'm also into so many businesses. I have so many businesses that I'm into.
Beautiful.
So that's I think that would be okay for now
All right.
as we
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Well, for sure, we're going to as much as you would give us the permission, to explore into your life and to your journey and to your process. I try to say this anytime I host the program that what makes us actually who we are is the journey that we go through. The journey that we go through
Yeah.
in life, the processes that we go through is really what creates us, what formulates us. When I
You're
see
right.
you, and I hear the results that you have and what you're doing, I understand that that is a cumulative of your life's experiences. It's a cumulative
You're
of
right.
the tough times and the easy times that you had in life. The highs and the
Yeah.
lows, the times you were about to
Right.
give up and the times you had enough motivation to to shoot for the stars. And I think the opportunities to learn from your story, to learn from your experiences, and to to learn from some of the things that you've learned in your journey of life, would help us to like take some cues and maybe pick up some lessons from you to help us in our own journey. And
Wonderful.
that's basically what we want to do today, to just ask you some questions and for you to also share with us your journey. So if you don't mind, let us start with your journey, growing up in Africa, in Ghana. What was it
Okay.
like for you? Because today, I think to a very large extent, we could say you're successful, because where you are is what you're doing right now. But oftentimes I've come to learn that the fact that someone is successful today and has gotten to a height doesn't mean the person did not have some sort of difficult backgrounds or
Difficult,
challenges
yeah,
growing. So
yeah,
I don't know if your
yeah.
story is like that. So maybe you'd like to give us a little background of your childhood and how you grew up and moving forward from there.
Well, thank you very much. I think it's a privilege to share our story so that somebody can learn from it and not commit some of the mistakes that we committed growing up.
That's right.
Growing up, as I mentioned, I was a third born among my siblings, and I happened to be the first one to attend university. I have two other senior brothers ahead of me. They couldn't get opportunity to attend the university. In fact, in my early days when I attended school in my junior secondary school level, I was a very good student. I was very good student, but there wasn't any way to teach me as to what to do better. Normally, you do it based on what is available to you. And I remember very well that I decided to go on a vacation to my grandfather's cottage. So when I went there, I decided to stay there. Thankfully, the environment wasn't conducive for me because I keep on falling sick. So my uncle that I was living with decided to bring me back to the city. But in the village, I had to walk about 3 miles a day to go to school. I'm barefooted, so you need to walk 3 miles a day where I was. So I stayed there for almost a year and a half. And then because of health condition, my uncle decided to bring me back to the city. So when I came back, I assessed myself and I realized that I wasn't as good as I would have wished. So I told my teachers to repeat me. Instead of going ahead, I said that they should repeat me so that I will be able to catch up with my academics. So they did it.
Wow.
And that is where I then developed the interest of learning. And at that period too, because I was born into a church, I went through Sunday school. And let me tell you a funny story. When I was going to Sunday school, anytime they give me the offering, when we go there, they are taking the offering. I wouldn't put in my offering because in my mind, I realized that the teachers were chopping the money, so I will also use the money to buy something else. I didn't know what was happening to me, but that's what I was doing. So my mother sat me down and explained that, oh, we need this offering to help the church to do A, B, C, D. And then I understood and I decided to do the right thing. Fast forwarding.
To be a good boy.
Yeah, to be a good boy, yeah. So life was a little bit challenging, and sometimes when I read DSA's books and I realized that I found myself in those pictures, and I decided to read books, motivational books and all the books I decided. I remember when we finished secondary school, my mother had a nursery school and I was teaching there. I had a friend, we had finished the same secondary school, we were teaching there. And there was this fellowship church kind of thing that they organized organizing all nights, every day, during the weekday. I told my friend, this doesn't make sense. How can I go for all night and come and teach? And they couldn't understand why I was, in a way, I looked like I was deviant because everybody was doing the same. But I questioned that, no, it doesn't make sense for me to go for an all night during the weekday and come and teach. In fact, I tried it once. When I came back the next day teaching, I realized I was sleeping. I was dozing off. So I said, no, I can't keep on doing this. So I told them, I can come for half night. I will come maybe around 11, 12. I will come back and sleep and prepare for the next day. And that was what I was doing. And they used to call me half night. And the truth is that later in life, my friend, he's still my very close friend. He still asks me, at that age, what motivated me to stood my ground not to allow people to influence me that way. I said, no, I didn't know what came upon me, but I realized that it didn't make sense. And I also told him that I realized that at the end of the day, we're going to teach kids. If I'm not well prepared, if I'm going there and I'm dozing off, it means I'm not giving up my best, and it doesn't speak well of me as a child of God. And that is how it happened. So by the grace of God, I went to the university. In the university, I happened to read agriculture. It was one of the most difficult courses. But let me make a statement. When I finished my secondary school, I realized that I could have done better. But I wasn't satisfied with the results that I got. So fortunately, I was having this young man who was staying around. He came to the same secondary school. So I sat him down and I told him, you know what? Nobody taught me how to read and how to organize my life when I was in the secondary school. But these are the things that I have gathered after the secondary school, that if you follow A, B, C, D, you will do more than what I did. And thankfully, this young man listened to me. And when during his exams time, that when he was finishing school, he had all A's. Something I couldn't have achieved. I didn't get it, but he had all A's.
Beautiful.
Fast forward, when I went to the university, I was doing fortunately, somebody came to teach us how to study, how to plan your life, your time, and and I took it and I realized, oh, this makes sense to me. And I decided, I want to be a balanced student as much as possible. And within the university, I was doing well. And the sad thing was that I was always doing well in courses that everybody says was difficult. But I wasn't doing well on the course that everybody was, oh, this one is not difficult. I always wanted to challenge myself, trying to do better and set records whilst I was in the university. I remember when we went to the university, first year we were supposed to do first year science. But in my secondary school, we did only agric without doing art, maths, biology, chemistry, and physics. So for the first year in the university, we were asked that we're going to do that first year science. And when I inquired, my predecessors, none of them had gotten an A in chemistry and physics. And I told myself, I'm going to get A. I read, and thankfully I was able to get A's in art, maths, chemistry, and physics, and biology at the university level. So in fact, they used to call me Nana Academics, meaning chief of academics. I was good academically, but still, I realized that I could have done better. Even in my university, I had a scholarship to do a semester course in one of the African countries in Tanzania. From Ghana to Tanzania with some friends, 3 of us, we went to Tanzania for a semester. It was a Commonwealth scholarship. And there I was able to excel. In fact, all the courses that I did there, I had all A's in that at that university, Sokoine University of Agric in Tanzania. So I was good. And when I finished, I did my national service as the teaching assistant at the university. And sadly, all this while, I didn't know what I was coming to do. Nobody had taught me my life goals. I knew I was praying, but I still couldn't fathom what I wanted to do. And I knew wherever field you place me, I could excel. That one I knew. Whatever the field you place me, I could excel. But I had not been able to identify exactly what I want to become in the future. Sometimes you pray and you hear the voice of God telling you, this is what I want you to become. Sometimes you hear the voice that God says, you'll be a millionaire, a billionaire. You hear all these things. But the point was that, how am I going to achieve that? There wasn't anything for you to, and unfortunately for some of these motivational books, you read them and you become frustrated. They will tell you 20 steps of becoming successful. You read all the 20 steps, you realize that they are not telling you anything. And I decided I wouldn't be reading some of these books. So I decided to read Dr. Mark's moral books, and which at that time I had read the scriptures, and I realized that it has dawned on me that I should pursue the kingdom agenda. So I remember in 2001, that was my plan, to be a kingdom financier. I heard a voice to support the kingdom activities, and that was it. And the question is, as to how am I going to achieve that, was the next question. So when I saw Dr. Mark's moral book, reading them, exposing me into knowing the kingdom of God, and realizing that honestly, I don't know the gospel that my pastors have been preaching, because they don't even speak about the kingdom of God. They speak about the gospel of salvation. But the fact of the kingdom is not there. And sometimes they create an impression that unless you come to full-time ministry, then you're doing the work of God. And those were the things that I was good in teaching. I was very good. So some of them thought that I could become a full-time minister. And I said, no, that's not what I've been called to do. I knew in my heart that I could still serve the purpose of God without having becoming full-time minister. But unfortunately, who was there to help me to be able to cement and solidify the things that I was just meditating upon, trying to implement? I was not having any solid, no one. In fact, I meet people, I realize that they can't even be my mentor. They can't be, they can't mentor me, because I realize that the information that I have more than what that was my worry, because I realized that sometimes you read the scriptures become so vivid to you. You are God's little children. But when you go to church, the preaching that will come, you want to belittle the position in which you think that this is where God has placed. So sometimes you have these inner wrangles. Nobody is there to be able to explain, until my good friend in US introduced me to Dr. Sunday. And in 2018, he just sent one of the YouTube's message to me. And I realized that, no, this is the person I have to look for. And that's where my journey began with Dr. Sunday at Elijah.
Wow. That is so interesting. And I love the way you took us on a journey, right, from your childhood up to the point where you got to meet Dr. Sunday. But there's some things I want us to kind of churn out of your story, and so a few qualities I saw, or that I could see that you exhibited while you were growing up, and that was your questioning and critical mind that you had. Because you mentioned that in your primary school thereabout, that you had to, you questioned yourself, and you saw that you were not at your maximum. You were not performing at the best you could. And then you told your teachers to let you repeat a class. That's very interesting. And you wouldn't expect that from a young, I think one could say you were a child, because if you're in primary school, then you're pretty young, But it's interesting how right from that very young age, you had a critical mind where you could question yourself, question your abilities, and to make that conclusion and speak the truth to yourself that I think I'm not functioning at my at my best, at my optimum, and then even choosing to sacrifice a year so that you can actually get to your best and become the very best. So I'm going to throw a question at you right now, So that was you at a very young age, but now you're way older, In hindsight, and with the amount of knowledge and experience that you have now, why is it important for one to question himself or herself, as regards wanting to achieve one's maximum potential? Why would you say that is important if it is important to you. Just from your own, story from being as a child, you making that decision to wanting to be the best, and even where you are right now. Maybe we could learn from you, why it is important for us not just to be, complacent or to be okay where we are, but wanting to achieve our maximum. And even if it will cost us some, some sacrifice, why we should be willing to do it just as you did. So let's learn from you a little bit more.
Thank you very much. You see, there's a saying that an unexamined life is not worth living for. And the one who is, if you're walking around, maybe if you're charting a course, normally you don't know what is happening behind you. So what you normally have to do is to look back and see what actually is going on. And that is something that has helped me pretty well. That I have to examine whatever I'm doing. Sometimes, if you don't take care, you run a hot race, but in the wrong direction. And that is a sad thing, having run, using all your energy. In fact, I have told myself that life is too short for me to experiment. Life is too short for me to experiment. And that is the motivation for me to be reading books, because I tell myself it's taking some people years to go through. So if I can use 1 week to get a lesson that somebody is taking them 20 years, 30 years, that would be a smartest thing for me to do. And that has been my principle. And so it's important for us as young men, those who are viewing us, listening to us, it is important for us to review, assess whatever we are doing. And most importantly, life is not a competition. And I think I thank God for this thing that I had, the mindset that I'm not into competition with anybody. The competition is with myself, trying to outdo my past. How can you outdo your past without assessing what you have done? So normally I assess what I have done vis-a-vis what I had planned to achieve and the resources available to me. And one thing that has helped me in my life, I thank God for that, is that at every phase of my life, at every cycle of my life, I want to maximize that cycle so that when I move on, I don't regret. Unfortunately, many people are regretting when they were single. Instead of maximizing their singlehood, they were behaving like married people. So when they got married, now they miss that singlehood stage. Even though they have married, their mindset is still back. If you live that way, you always realize that anytime you move up, your mindset will be taking you backwards. You will not be able to. So by the time you could say, Jack, within the phase in which you find yourself, you move to the next state. So it is important for us that at every period God has placed us, the resources He has made available unto us, we make maximum use of those resources and make the necessary impact as much as possible so that when we move on, we will then really move on without having regrets. How I wish, how if I had known that kind of mindset. No, I don't live that life. If I move on, I move on. Because I realized that I would have, before I move on, I would have gotten everything. Let me share another story. In fact, when I finished university, I also realized that I could have done far better. So you know what I did? I wrote a book. And that book was titled The Successful Student. The Successful Student. And I decided, okay, I want every student to read this because it was an experience that I had going to school. And I realized that if you read that book, there's no way you should fail an exam. And I thank God that most people who read the book, sometimes you meet them, so this book helped me. This book helped me. And that is what has made me where I am.
powerful, and those are wise words you just shared. At different phases in life, we must have that mindset to wanting to, maximize, maximize ourselves, maximize our the face, so there are no regrets. That's powerful. Thank you so much for sharing. Another thing I want to ask you from your story that you shared, because of course we're going to get to the point where you met DSA and DSA's impact, and also why you made the statement that one moment with DSA is is like years of university lectures. We're going to get there momentarily, but before then, you talked about your journey, through your educational years. How, although you were doing well in school, you were getting good grades, you still lacked direction. You lacked direction, and you lacked, I would say, a mentor, someone who could, help you to really discover, let's say, your purpose, to really discover, yourself and all of that. Many times, or most people associate, life to just be all about going to school, getting educated, getting a job, and then you marry, you have your children, you have a good house, you have some good cars. You're okay, you're contented, and you're satisfied. But with you had some discontentment, and you had some questions, within yourself, that maybe there could be more to my life than just going to school and getting a good, grade, and all of that. Let's now hear from you. What did that mean to you? Why were you questioning, yourself, to wanting to discover your calling and your purpose, and why were you in need of direction? Maybe we could learn from your why, before we even get to how you got that discovery. So, but why did it mean so much to you? And then we'll get to how you got your answer.
I mentioned that academically I was good, but I realized that things that it wasn't I was so empty, even though they will any concept you teach I will understand. That's me. As far as I'm in that lecture, whatever you teach I will understand. But I realized that it wasn't enough for me. It wasn't something that was fulfilling. And I thought that there was more to going to school, getting the degrees and here and there. So, and that is why I was questioning what can I do to have that satisfaction. In fact, ever since I had my master's, and still with me, I've been questioning the educational system. I've been questioning all things around, because I realized that people are hollow. They've gone to school, the PhDs here and there, but when you meet them, you realize they lack the wisdom, the thing that will bring the impact that one would have expected having gone to school, you would have been able to churn out. And I keep on telling people that we have overpriced education. I'm not saying education is not good, but we have overpriced it. And
The formal kind of
the
education.
formal kind of education, yeah, going to school, if you have overpriced it, so people have it's become like a factory. You go through and then you pass and you go, and that is some of the things that I've been questioning. And when I meet my friends who are professors and lecturers, I ask them some of these things. So the point was that why, not that I was not good and like I was having I want to find a way out. No, I was good, but I realized that no, this is not what I'm looking for. There must be a reason why I have been brought on this earth. There must be a purpose for me to accomplish, where it will bring satisfaction to me. And along the line, if I have to go on to the next point, how I was able to, I realized that there were certain things when I do, the ability for me to share, ability for me to help others do better than I do, was where I was finding my satisfaction. But that's what motivated me to be able to write a book that will be able to meet the needs of students so that they wouldn't repeat the mistakes that I committed. In fact, even though I was good at it, because I was not having direction, I failed in a particular course when I was in the secondary school. Even though I was good, I knew I could have done better, but there was no direction. I was able to fail, which helped me to understand so many things. So that's where my satisfaction is. I want to share. I want I want people to do better than what I'm doing. That has been my motivation, and that's why I get my satisfaction. And that is why when I met DSA, it was like something that I should have gotten about 20, 25 years ago.
Wow. There are a lot of people who make this very same statement you just made, that when they met DSA, they wish that they met him. Some people say 5 years, some people say 10 years, some people say 20 years, some people say 25 years. Some people say 30 years. They wish they met him those 30 years ago. And anytime I hear that, I say to myself that, well, I'm perhaps maybe the luckiest human being on earth, to have encountered him at the point where I did, in my 20s, because I hear 50s, people in their 50s saying they wish they met him 25 years. And I'm like, well, that's where I'm meeting him now. And some people in their 40s, they say that they wish they met him in their 20s. And I'm like, well, that's where I am right now. But even with that, I feel like it's not just, enough to meet him. There's a responsibility that comes with it. Because when you listen to Dr. Sunday, there are two decisions you can either make. You would either just say you're not interested, you're not ready, because it's too difficult for you to do. So, you just hear him and you just say, okay, this guy is in another world. I'm in another world, I can't do it. So you just give up, right? You just say, I can't do it. Or you're ready to take a 180 degrees turn to all that you have believed all your life, because that's how it is with Dr. Sunday. When you listen to Dr. Sunday's teachings and you listen to when he's explaining a lot of things about life, about the kingdom, about money, it's almost always the direct opposite of what the whole world is like world apart. So when you listen to those kind of things, you are either humble enough to say, okay, I have to, do away with all of the things I believed all my life. I have to do away with all of the things I thought to be true, that my teachers taught me, my parents taught me, my environment taught me, and now I have to just speak the truth to myself that, okay, I need to make this 180 degrees turn, So like you're going northward before, and then you say, okay, northward is not the way, let's go southward. That's how it's meant to be. So it's really difficult to do, to really make this word flesh. But it's always good that at least you have the opportunity to even hear these things, because I feel like there's some people who don't even know that there's a DSA. And I think that was maybe your experience. I don't know if you knew him before, if you heard about him before, but I think it was your friend who introduced you to Dr. Sunday, and then, as they say, the rest is history. But before I come back to you, Mr. Ebenezer, I want to just make a few announcements about Dr. Sunday's latest book, Why And the title of the book is, as you can see on the screen, Why I Write Books. That is the book right here. Why I Write Books and Why You Too Should Write Yours. So this is Dr. Sunday's attempt to give a holistic answer to what, motivates him and what inspires him, and as what has made him obsessed with writing books. Dr. Sunday now has maybe close to 300-400 books, both in English and in Russian, and he still has even more books that are yet to be published. And he has a personal goal that before he dies, he wants to publish 1,000 books. Now, what is behind that motivation? What is behind that goal? Why would a man set a target like that, to wanting to write 1,000 books, before he dies? Well, this book that you're seeing on your screen is would give you the answers to why Dr. Sunday writes books. But good enough, he didn't just stop by answering the question why he writes his books, but he's also telling you why you too should write yours. Why you too should write yours. Well, our guest today already told us that he has written his own book, and he wrote a book even while he finished, while he ended his university, I think it was secondary school education or university, and then to help people, to help students. So you too should write yours. So I'm asking you, where is your book? Please make sure you do your best, that you don't starve the world, of the books that are inside of you. We want to see that book. We want to read that book. We want the world to be blessed, by your book. So if you want to get this book, you can get this book on Amazon Kindle Unlimited if you're a subscriber, for free, and on all other platforms where Dr. Sunday has his books. BAM Books, that is BAMBOOKS.io. You can get the book there, and other books that Dr. Sunday has written, they are available right there. And also you can order for them on Okada Books or dsabooksplanet.com. You can get all of these books. All right, so let me get back to Mr. Ebenezer. We're going to continue the story from when you met Dr. Sunday. So your friend got to tell you about Dr. Sunday. So what was your first exposure to him? Was it his teachings? Was it a book, or did you read an article? What was it like? Maybe give us a story about your first exposure and encounter with Dr. Sunday, and then how that developed over the years.
All right, thank you. The friend I mentioned sent me a video and then some of Dr. Sunday's books. In fact, I think he read and then he said I should make sure I get this book on Kingdom. One of them was on Kingdom, the Kingdom of God, and then Money Won't Make You Rich. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, good. So those were the books that he shared with me, and then I realized that no, I have to get more information about this man. You see, you did mention that when you meet Dr. Sunday, there are two reactions. Whether you say, okay, this guy, I think where he is a different part of the world, so I should allow him to continue whatever he's doing, or you have to reprogram. You have to be reprogrammed. You have to allow yourself to be formatted in your mind. I'm using computer language, and maybe you have to delete some files in your CPU, and then there's a need for you to have antivirus, all those things, so that when he's programming you, you begin to work with it. For me, because of what I was going through, I was looking for a person like that. So when I met him, when I read his material, I realized that, yeah, there's a person that can mentor me. I've now met my real mentor, and I decided to read his books. In fact, last year I decided to order 54 of his books, and my target is to read all the 54 by the end of the year. I ordered it in October, November, and now have read almost 20 of them, and I think I'm on course. I'll be able to finish the remaining. Dr. Sunday is a blessing to our generation, and those of you who are watching me, Anu and your team, those of you who are close to him, those who have had the opportunity. In fact, at the age in which you find yourself was the very age that I was looking for Dr. Sunday, because that was the age I was thinking through life. I was trying to get the right mentor to be able to help me see my life. There was one man called Dr. Emmanuel Baba Mahama, but he was a distant one. He ministered, and I liked the way, but it was very distant. He had not written books for me to read, but I admired him from a distance. But I needed somebody whom I could read and then engage, and I think Dr. Sunday has become that person to me. And my statement at one moment with DSA, it's like years of university lectures. It's true. You meet Dr. Sunday, you read when you are reading his books, you see him in there. You see his passion in the book. You see everything about him in there. And normally when I'm reading the book, it's like I want to underline every statement. If you don't take care, you have to underline every statement, because all of them make sense. All of them are valuable. All of them are things that you should know. So you read and you enjoy the thing. Sometimes you can't even put the book down. And it's like when the moment you finish reading the book, you realize you have been enhanced. Your life, you see that, and that's the moment I'm talking about. When you read, you realize that the university degree is nothing, I tell you. Because the kind of information, the impact that affects both your spirit, your soul, and your body, it's a balanced material. The university lectures are all just the physical ones. It has nothing to do with your spirit. But this is a book that affects your spirit, affects your soul. In fact, your thinking capacity is enhanced. And at the end of the day, it affects your body. And that is what I'm saying. One moment with DSA is like years of university lectures. You go there, they teach you theories, and some of them, you don't even understand the theories that they are teaching you. And the other good news about DSA is that he's prepared to share his life. Unlike the other motivational messages, they go around it, they won't tell you why they have made it. They will never tell you the secret. They will go around in circles, give you 100 steps of this and then 10 principles behind this, and you read it, you realize that they are just going in circles. You read it and they motivate, they boost your morale, but they don't boost your spirit. They boost your morale to attempt something. The moment you attempt it, you see you fail, and then you realize that you don't have the motivation to continue again. So we thank God for the lives of Dr. Sunday, and those of you, I want to repeat, if sometimes when you go to his blog, you become confused, you don't know where to start. You really don't know where to start. And you ask yourself, hey, this man, how? And sometimes you want to catch up. You realize that the more you want to catch up, the more he's running away from you. So, okay, no. You have to take it at your own pace. You have to take it at your own pace. And I want to thank God for his life. And with my association with him, just 2 years. It's even still under 2 years. I haven't gone past 2 years. The impact, it has brought light to my vision and my purpose in life. He has re-energized. Sometimes you start something and you don't have the support. You realize that you want to stop. But having met him, he has refueled passion 25 years ago. He has given meaning to the still small voice that I was hearing, but I was not getting anybody to help me. I'm now like Caleb, who says that even though he's 80, but he's like 40, and that's me now, because now I've gotten the right materials, I've gotten the right association, and I've gotten the right mentor. Even though, as I mentioned to you, in every sphere of my life, I don't regret. I think that meeting DSA has put fire in me for me to do more than what I would have done if I had not met him. I cannot even quantify what at the moment I'm doing. In fact, through DSA, I mentioned I have 4 kids. I'm running history maker training with them. They are kids, but I'm doing that with them. And unfortunately, I'm in the office. They would have mentioned to you, I have whatever I'm learning, I'm taking them. They are taking notes. In fact, I have this HMT on how to plan for the next 25 years. I took my time to go through, downloaded all the materials for 1 week. I went through the teachings, made notes, and that is what I'm taking them through. With that, I've been able to set up a group called B25 Project that about 165 youth have shown interest, which I run. I'm using Dr. Sunday's material to run that program of them to impact their lives. And I read one of the Dr. Sunday's book, The Calling and the Purpose of Nations. Dear. That book, amazing. And for that, I'm coming up with a program called The Flag. And to be able to educate people to know that when we mention, if you're a Nigerian is not, sometimes you see, we have the mindset that when you say you're a Ghanaian, it's like Ghana is like it's at a particular place that you are not part of it, but you are the Ghana, you are the Nigerian. You get a point. So I want to educate people to know that the calling, every nation has its own calling, and together we will be able to achieve that. So there's another program I want to run on television and on Facebook and social media, The Flag. And all is coming from the materials that I've read from Dr. Sunday. And in fact, during his birthday, I sent you something that you have to share with. I think I have to mention. I'm good at using names acronyms to describe it. But as I know, if I remember, I said that Dr. Sunday, the meaning of Dr. Sunday is in the name. The Sunday, the S means he's a servant leader. He's a servant leader. The U in Sunday is he's a unique teacher. Dr. Sunday is a very unique teacher. And the N, he's a noble leader. The D, Dr. Sunday is divinely ordained doctrine defender. He is divinely ordained doctrine defender. And the A, he's affable personality. You can approach Dr. Sunday. And Y means that Dr. Sunday is yielding abundant fruits. You see the materials you mentioned, he has plans to write 1,000 books. 1,000 books. You can't even imagine that. And then when you come to Adelaja, the aim is he's an action-oriented man. He's an action man. The D, Dr. Sunday is destiny enhancer. He is enhancing a lot of destinies around the globe. The E, he is effective time converter. I don't know what time he sleeps, but he's effective time converter. Dr. Sunday, L, he is a life coach. If you get closer to me, he will coach you in life. And the A, he's accessible man of God. He's available to everyone. The J, he's Jesus addicted. Sunday is Jesus addicted. And then the A, he's ambitious kingdom and advancer. He's ambitious kingdom advancer. And that's what I have for Dr. Sunday, even though we've celebrated the birthday, but I think that he is living true to his word. And it's my prayer that God will continue to use him to be a blessing. And we who are following him, we will shine, we will promote the kingdom agenda that God is using Dr. Sunday to bring forth to the whole world.
Words right there. Amazing acronym you gave there. I saw it and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I sent it to Dr. Sunday to himself, and he gave some very good remarks. That's powerful. What I want us to talk about your relationship with Dr. Sunday, with his books, because I noticed that you laid a lot of emphasis on his books in particular. What I don't know if you listen to his audio or to his video teachings, right? But I know there are people who only listen to his videos and don't read his books, and there are some people who also just read his books and don't listen to the video teachings, and then there are some that maybe do both. But I want to ask you, because since you actually, you're devoted to reading his books, what is, I don't know if you'll be in the best position to answer this, because let me first ask, if you do you listen to his videos, to his video teachings? You okay? Sorry, we can't hear you. Yeah, can you come again?
Yeah, I do both. I listen to his videos, and I read books. In fact, the book about calling and purpose of nations, I listened to all the videos on this program that he ran, How to Possess Nation. That using youth to affect nation, using children, using the media. I took time. It was about 50 videos. I listened to all of them in addition to the books that I do listen to it. Yes.
Awesome. So now that means you are definitely in the best position to answer. Now, since you listen to both, what is it that is in Dr. Sunday's books that people who only listen to his video teachings are missing? What is the uniqueness of the books, and that you think that people shouldn't miss out in those books, even if they listen to his video teachings, from your own experience?
You see, there's one thing reading a book and one thing listening to audio or video. When you read a book, you will be able to make notes. Even though when you are listening to the audios and nothing, you can make notes. But then when you have the book is well structured, that you'll be able to identify which areas that you have to concentrate and then meditate upon and research into. So it is important that you balance the two. You read the books, and for the books, you'll be able to, when you read and you mark those things, you'll be able to go back and then echo on those things, whether it's a new concept or information. You'll be able to get them back and be able to practice, unless you don't want to practice what you are reading or what you are listening to, because normally when you listen, you keep it. There's been a research that when you listen, the percentage of retention is very low. But when you have a book, you can still go back and then read and read and read over. So I want to encourage all of you that have not had the opportunity to read Dr. Sunday's book. And in fact, if you want to give, I didn't mention that as we speak, I was able to buy some of the books of Dr. Sunday to the president of my country. Yeah, I packaged those books, The Calling and Purpose of Nations, The Role of the Elites. I packaged about 6 of the books through a friend to my president, and I did the same to some of the church leaders in my country. I just packaged and gave some of them to some of the top level in my country, church leaders, for them to read.
Hope that they actually did get those books and to read it, and it's not just on their shelves.
Keeping quiet. I'm not keeping quiet. So when they hear of me, they will want to find out what has happened to this guy. And then some of them will come to know that, oh, I gave them some books, so they will decide to go and read. So don't worry, they will read. And I know some of them who have read it. There's one man that I have to link him up with Dr. Sunday. In fact, Dr. Sunday is happy to meet with him, and I know I will work it out for them to meet very soon. So my point is that those of you who have not read Dr. Sunday's books, you are missing a lot. In fact, in the books, we have practical sections. It's not just books. There are practical questions and practical sections that you have to prove that you have understood what you've read. There's the book I'm reading now, The Laws of Difference, and man, this book, every statement counts. Nobody has told me, but every statement counts. I'm reading this book, and I asked myself, where did Dr. Sunday get all these things? The law of difference. And so, if you are listening to me and you have not read that, I would encourage you to look for the law of difference, and you will love it. You will love it. Life will become so enjoying to you. You didn't have to struggle. Life wouldn't be a struggle to you because you know the law of difference. So I want to encourage those of you, please listen to his tapes. In addition, read books. Read books. Read books.
That's really because I listen to Dr. Sunday's videos, and they are very deep. And what I have come to realize is that it was a rude awakening. Like, you can be listening to Dr. Sunday, but all what you're getting is just going through your ears, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that is it, and that's where it ends. Because in your head, sincerely speaking, in your head, you'll be like, wonderful.
Wonderful, but you forget it. Oh, you forget it. Yeah, I tell you.
And sometimes, you can be very tempted to just say, okay, at least I'm hearing it now. So maybe as you're listening to him, maybe you're trying to do some other things. You're trying to maybe clean your house or trying to watch the series. And in your mind, you're listening. Bad news.
Yeah.
Because you would realize that maybe you got maybe 5% or 10% of the depths of what he's saying. But there's something that comes when you are reading. Reading, when you read, there's a higher level of focus and attention that comes just because you're reading. Because you're trying to read through the words, or maybe if you're using an audio book and you're trying to also follow the book, there's something that comes with it. And like you rightly said, the books, Dr. Sunday has the freedom to even explain with different methods, with different examples,
stories here
different
and there.
stories here and there that can help you to get a picture. Because it was when I started listening to Dr. Sunday, I realized that when you listen, the most important thing you're meant to get is not the words that the person is saying. Because if what you hear is the words, the best you can do is to re-echo those words. That's the best. And when you re-echo those words, it's actually doesn't mean that you've gotten it. What it just shows is that you have a good memory, right? And you can hear and you can say it back. But that does not mean that the word has been made flesh and you've gotten those words. And that is my reality every day with him. I realize that many things I've listened to, I'm with him and I do the direct opposite. And then he shows me and he tells me it still happened today. And he tells me, well, I know. You see, it's not enough for you to know it. It's not enough for you to even say it. You know, it has to become flesh in you. And that's one of the blessings I have, you know, just being close to him. But, you know, I say that to say that it's not just enough to hear words when you listen to a message or when you to read, but the most important thing is the pictures that you see. You know, it's for you to actually create pictures in your mind. And one thing that happens with, you know, reading Dr. Sunday's books, with the stories that he gives and the explanation he gives, it creates pictures in your mind. So you're able to see vivid pictures that, you know, that helps you in understanding the concept or the teachings that he's trying to communicate, you know. And then you see it with the stories of people that he shares in the books. You also see it in, you know, some practical questions that he asks, some self-assessment tests that are in those books, you know, to help you really make the word flesh. And that's very much how his books are structured, you know. It's not just for information, but if you really take your time to read through them and follow it, you know, page by page, you know, and structure by structure, it will really help you to make your word flesh. And I agree with you that, you know, it's not enough just to listen to Dr. Sunday's videos and his audios. Those are phenomenal. You would not hear anything like that. You know, you might not come across any teaching like that. You just might not. But when you get to the books and you start reading the books, it will blow your mind. It would literally revolutionize your whole, you know, your whole psyche. But that is amazing. And you know, I was going to also ask you a question as regards to, you know, when you met Dr. Sunday and you started reading his books, did you at any point reach out to him? Did you write him, or you were just okay with reading his books? That was all. Because you said you were looking for a mentor and you found a mentor in him through his books. So was that all that you were doing, or did you at any point maybe reach out to him wanting to say, okay, I found your books and I find them useful, can you mentor me, all of that? Did you have any experience like that?
Honestly, what I have is at the moment that I actually shown interest, that's where he introduced the Millionaire Mentorship Club. So then I decided, okay, I want to join that club. And that's where I'm receiving my mentorship from. And he's called me personally. I was surprised when I filled that form. He called and we had a nice discussions, and ever since, once a while, we communicate. And I think that with the Millionaire Mentorship class or club, I'm receiving all the required information, the mentorship that I needed. You know, I mentioned to you that deep within me, I have that inner voice that I'm a millionaire and kind of thing. But the point was that how do I become? And that is the motivation. And those of you who have not joined that club, and I know you should prepare to give people opportunity to come in, because it's a mind opening, blowing opportunity for you to know what wealth is, what riches is, what money is, and for you to take the right decisions, networking here and there. And I think I've gotten what I'm looking for. Oh yeah. In fact, the good news is that it's not just being there. Dr. Sunday is linking you to other business opportunities. Today, just as we speak, Ego, was that the Ego? Yeah, he sent me a mail on some business that we are working on. You get it? So this is not talk show. It's something that is that is happening, and this is a business deal that has come that I'm working on. So you realize that it's not just talking, but it's practical. And the information that I have received, and as I mentioned, my joy is not just for me. I am receiving it to be a blessing to others. And that's where my joy is. Every information, all that I'm learning, I use it, and then it doesn't just end with me. I have to get others to also benefit from, and that's where I become so happy, and it's been good. It's been good. It's been good. Mm.
Beautiful. That is beautiful. That is really beautiful. You know, you mentioned something about um, when you used to read motivational books and motivational speakers. You know, they get you so hyped. You know, like they tell you, oh yes, you can do it. Go into the boxing ring. You know, yes, go into the into the boxing ring and get to, you can do it. All you have everything, but they don't tell you what you need, how, the practical steps. They don't take you to the gym to show you the steps you need to work on yourself, to learn how to to jab, how to give a hook and all of that. What they just tell you is, don't worry, you got it, you have it, everything is in you, go for gold, everything. And then then they get you all pumped up, right? And then you get into the boxing ring, and just the very first punch that life gives you, you're on the floor, poof, and you're like, what happened? I followed the step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 they gave to me, and I'm there. And that's the difference between Dr. Sunday and many of these motivational speakers, and some of the things that you just highlighted. Because many people, when they hear of the Millionaires Club, they think it's just like every other motivational kind of club, like, okay, so some people have said some very ridiculous things, so they just think, well, what is Dr. Sunday trying to do? I mean, well, this is not just the same thing, but it's beautiful that you are just sharing your experience, that it's different. It's not just one place where someone is just giving you, just hype, and doesn't teach you the how and what you need to do and take you by the hand. And, by virtue of just being close to Dr. Sunday and working with him, I know exactly the amount of hours. I mean, you guys in the mentorship group, you don't have any idea of the amount of hours, and not just hours, but it actually took months to actually develop and come up with all of those things. Because that's what, I mean, Dr. Sunday has a philosophy that whatever he is doing, he wants to do it so well that there's no one who has done it as good before him the way he's doing it, and no one who is doing it now that will do it better. And even anyone who wants to do it after he has done it, after him, it will be very difficult for them to do it better than him. So, and I was just opportune to see all of the processes and the structures and the systems that he has planned out, on the Millionaires Mentorship Group, and also the fact that it's a place for networking and for you to you just said it. I mean, today, an email you got, to help with your businesses and all of that. So there are a lot of treasures in that Millionaires Mentorship Group. And you were saying that we should try to admit people, but actually we've been trying to. Anyone who has been following us for the past months, we try to announce it, because at the point now we have opportunity for people who are interested in joining the next quarter, because that it's a quarterly mentorship. So right now we have the opportunity, because at least for now, Dr. Sunday is still giving opportunity for people who missed the previous quarter, for anyone who wants to join the Millionaires Mentorship Group. And it's very easy. Anyone who is listening and wants to join that mentorship group, all you have to just do is write to mentorship email, that is mentorship@godembassy. So at mentorship@godembassy.org, just write to us there, and you're going to get a response from the mentorship team on what you need to do, how to get into the program. And of course, it is for people who are willing to pay the price. You have to be ready for it, because it's not a joke. Just like what Mr. Ebenezer said, I mean, you can't be in that group and you're just there joking. It's definitely not for people who are not serious. If you're serious, then that kind of group is for you, because you'll definitely get all that you need, to reach your financial goal. So, but in conclusion, I want to ask, you, Mr. Ebenezer, right now with what you're doing, because I perceive that, and just from your story, you sort of have a network or it connects with on a national level, right? So what would be your greatest lesson from Dr. Sunday? Because Dr. Sunday always talks about national transformation. You know, he's big. He's not just for local things, you know, okay, you're just doing something in your local. No. He's national. I want to change the whole nation. And you know, being the head of procurement, you know, in the Ministry of Food and Agriculture in Ghana, that's like on a national scale. What have you gleaned, you know, what have you been able to glean from Dr. Sunday's national transformation, desire, motivation, and how are you implementing that, you know, on a national scale for you to bring transformation to your nation, Ghana? Because that's what we want to see. We want to see you actually doing that in your nation. So over to you, sir.
Thank you very much once again. Honestly, as I mentioned, after reading the book, The Calling and Purpose of Nations, I realized that I have a lot of work to do. And following from the book, I have told you that I want to start with this program called The Flag. And the good news is that sometimes you need to put your finances together so that to fuel those purposes. And that is the motivation for me to have several businesses to be able to fuel some of these things. And as we speak, I have set up an NGO. It's a pressure group called the name of the NGO is Christian for Truth. Christian for Truth. And the vision is to support the development of the country through principles of values, truth, and transparency. And that is a principle we want to use to be able to impact the nations. And I tell you, I'm for that. I want to be in position to be able to bring forth things that will bring development to the kingdom, bringing the kingdom principles and values upon our nation. And I thank God for the teachings of Pastor Sunday. And you see, Pastor Sunday is not just the teaching, it gives you the wisdom how to go around it. Sometimes you can get the principle, but if you don't have the wisdom as to how to implement it, you will not be able to achieve what you want to achieve. And it's important as people who want to change the nations in which we find ourselves, we need to start from somewhere. And we need to have the wisdom. The wisdom. Last, he was mentioning that you can't say you want to be in politics by trying to set up your own political party. No, look for the existing political party. Go in there, contribute, and then by the time you could say, Jack, you are at the top and you are changing things. And these are some of the wisdoms that you need in order to have massive impact. And for Ghana, I think, and I've told you, for that purpose, that is why I decided to order some of the books and give to the very first gentleman of my nation. And I'm going to do same very soon for other top ministers. I'll buy some of these books, give to them as present for them to be reading. I tell you, when they see, they will read. Even if they don't read, with the program that I want to roll out, the flag, they will want, because they will see the wisdom from whatever I'm putting across, and they will want to get more information about that. And I think those from Africa, the other book, Dr. Sunday, How Africans Brought Civilization to Europe, I want you to read that. That will give you that motivation to know that we have what it takes to bring development to the various nations in which we find ourselves. We should not give up. We have what it takes. We have the wisdom. I always tell people, as children of God, we have the wisdom. Those in the world don't have that needed wisdom. We have what it takes. If you will prepare, if we will persevere, if we will focus, we will be able to take it. It is a matter of time. We need that focus. We need that perseverance. We need that fortitude that nothing should discourage us. And with the help of God, like Dr. Sunday always says, for the love of God the church, and the country, we will also be able to do same to bring that impact that God has destined us to bring to the world. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much. Well, I must say that your journey and your story is, I mean, it's been very thoughtful. A lot of wisdom you've shared with us today, and I'm sure that we have some Ghanaians who might be watching us today, and they might want to connect with you. You know, maybe they are part of the DSA family, or they also share some of these values, or maybe they share some of the passion that you have. I don't know if you're open to them maybe connecting with you in any way, or maybe you might want to share maybe it's your email or your Facebook or any medium that they could use to connect with you.
It will be very nice to have Ghanaians who are here for us to put our forces together to bring the transformation that we so desire, having had the requisite wisdom and the knowledge to be able to bring that breakthrough to our dear nation. So please, in case you want to get me, my email address is nanaacada, NANAACADA @gmail.com, or my Facebook account is Ebenezer Champong. When you click on that, you'll be able to link up with me, and I'll be very happy to touch base with you. So those of you who are in there, just send me an email or Facebook me. I'll be prepared to network with you so that we will meet together and we put more fire into what we intend doing. One person alone cannot accomplish that. So please, let's link up. Let's link up. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Well, thank you for deciding to do that, and I want to hope that some of the Ghanaians will be able to reach out to you, and then you can form a whole force. And I like the word you use for the organization you're working, Christians for Truth, which is a pressure group, right? And I think we definitely need those kind of groups, that would apply pressure to bring change in our nation and in our world at large. So amazing. Your final words, we're rounding up. So what would you like to say, to encourage our viewers who are listening, or maybe some words you like to share with Dr. Sunday as we round up?
Viewers, I want to let you know that in every generation, God raised a man that he will endow with wisdom, knowledge, and the relevant skills. And in our generation, God has given to us a man of God, Dr. Sunday Adelaja. And I want you to see him as such. You see, you cannot benefit from him if you fight against the calling of God that he has given to him to impart generation. So I want to encourage you, we need to listen to him, read more of Dr. Sunday's books. And listen, faith is not an event, it's a process. So we should give ourselves to the process. Even as we read Dr. Sunday's book, they are life transforming books. They are things that when you give yourself wholly to it, it will change your life, no matter where you find yourself in life. With the little I have read and listened, I can tell you indeed, life is predictable. There is no mystery at all. And on this note, I want to thank Dr. Sunday Adelaja and the family for availing themselves for God to use so mightily. Sir, you are such a blessing. You are such an asset to me, and I know the whole world will testify to the great things God is using you to accomplish in our generation. It is my prayer that God will continue to give you the wisdom, even as you spend time, work so hard to achieve your vision of writing 1,000 books. We pray that that vision will be accomplished and more followers, people's eyes will be open to listen to the truth that God, through you, is releasing to the world. God bless you. And I also want to thank the team that are working with Dr. Sunday. Give up your best. You are doing well. I appreciate the great things you are doing. And I say God bless you so much. Thank you also for the opportunity that you've given to me to share my story with the whole world. Anu and your team. It's a privilege. It's a privilege to have such a great platform to testify about the mighty things God through Dr. Sunday is doing. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much for being available enough, to be able to share your experiences, your journey, and some of your plans. And guess what? We are on the lookout. We're looking forward to you, implementing all of the things you have already in plan, in paper. We're looking forward to a transformed Ghana. We're looking forward to the disciples and the sons you're going to raise who would impose the principles of the kingdom of God in that nation, and to help the nation to be in tandem with the will of God for that nation. So yes, I will want to encourage you that you should keep working, keep reading, keep doing all that you need to do to make it possible. We're sending our love and our regards to you, your family, and to your team over there. So thank you very much, sir. It's definitely a pleasure having you on the show. And to our dearly esteemed viewers who have been watching us right from day one even till today, and you started today's program with us and are still here with us till the end, we want to appreciate you. Thank you for joining us all through this program. We'll be back tomorrow for another testimony. Same time, 7 p.m. Kyiv time, 5 p.m. UK time, 5 p.m. Nigerian time, on Dr. Sunday's YouTube channel and also on his Facebook page. So thank you for being with us. If you've not shared this link, I would like to encourage you to share the link. And for those of you who are interested in the mentorship courses, like Mr. Ebenezer talked about, the Millionaires Mentorship or the Who Am I Mentorship, both of these courses are available now for anyone who's interested. You just have to write to mentorship@godembassy.org and you'll be able to get the courses that Dr. Sunday right now is offering. And thank you for being with us. We would see by God's grace tomorrow. But before then, I wish you a wonderful, maybe it's a day or afternoon or evening, and God bless you. Bye for now.